What's up, guys? I'm Caden with Crypto Now or Never, and welcome back to another update on Cocoro. If you enjoy this style of content, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, none of this is financial advice. Let's get into it.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want.
Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and hop straight into Cocoro. So as you guys can see, it's currently trading at a $14.6 million market cap, and it's up about 12% in the last 24 hours. Now, recently I have been getting a lot of questions as to whether or not I'm still bullish on this project. As you guys can see, it's been getting sold off pretty hard. The answer to that question is 100% yes. And I know some people are worried because you can see Cocoro potentially lost this long-term trend line. However, as you can see right now, it's fighting to get back above it. Regardless though, my personal conviction in this project is so much more than just short-term price action. Even if Cocoro does go lower, I am not going to be worried. I have explained this many times, but in my personal opinion, this might be the strongest narrative in the entire crypto market. And the reality is that Cocoro actually has a community that can match the hype. If you come over here and you look at their X account, they get phenomenal engagement. At the current moment, they're at 2,587 followers. And they would actually be a lot higher than this, but their first X account actually got suspended. But if you look at some of their recent posts, they get excellent engagement. This is their pinned post June 17th, 4 days ago. 502 reposts, 577 likes, 17K views. And it's not like this is paid for engagement. You go through the comment section and they have a lot of big accounts that are supporting them as well. And you can just look at a lot of their posts, and again, their engagement is phenomenal. 188 reposts. How many projects out there have the ability to actually do this, especially in this market cap range around 15 million? And what's also important is that Vitalik is being tagged in a lot of these posts. And as you guys know, Vitalik has the ability to skyrocket a project. I'm telling you right now, when you are constantly having posts that are getting this much engagement, he is going to eventually see it. Now, the other thing that I want to show you guys from a price standpoint is just a comparison to the Nero chart. See, again, a lot of people out here are worried about Cocoro's little sell-off right now. Actually, I'm going to go back to Cocoro real quick. So you can see if you do look at this sell-off that from the all-time high, Cocoro has pulled back about 61%. And yeah, that's obviously not a fun pullback to deal with. I understand that. But if you come over here and you look at the Nero chart, look at what happened in Nero's early days. So before this massive explosion, you zoom in, this chart actually looks very similar to Cocoro. And if you pull out the retracement, you can see that Nero actually pulled back about 70% from the high. And then from there, the rest is history. What happened after that 70% pullback? And understand, this was at the depths of the 77 pullback. It's not even like it had a bounce first. And then all of a sudden, it gets a Binance listing. And what happens? Within about 2 months, it runs to a $1.3 billion market cap. Now, am I saying that Cocoro is going to take the same path? No, I am not. But what I am saying is that a 60% retracement is not that big of a deal. Many of these strong projects will survive that. And you also have to understand that a massive sell-off is just a way to rotate tokens into stronger hands. Now, I'm not saying that that's the case for every project because a lot of projects don't have good intentions. But if you have a project that is legitimately here to stay, then a sell-off is not a bad thing. And in my personal opinion, Cocoro is absolutely here to stay. Now, if you come over here and you look at Cocoro on CoinMarketCap, you can see that they currently have 2.24 million in volume. That's up about 56% in the last 24 hours. And if you scroll down, you can see that a lot of the volume is coming from LBank and Uniswap. Uniswap has 31%, but LBank actually has 57%. But what you need to understand is this is not actually counting MEXC. So Cocoro should actually have quite a bit more volume. Now, I can't tell you how much, but it definitely should be up there. And if you come over here and you look at the Cocoro holders, you can see that the MEXC wallet is climbing every single day. They're up to number 16. At this point, they almost hold 1% of Cocoro. But in general, I just want to point out how good of token distribution Cocoro actually has. At the moment, Cocoro only has 6 different 1% wallets. That is insane. I challenge you right now, go look at a lot of other projects that are in that 15 million range, and you're going to see so many more 1% wallets. And when you have tons of massive wallets, it just makes the project that much more dangerous because the power goes in the hands of a few people. But what's impressive about Cocoro, for example, if you click on wallet number 2, you can see that the top holders are actually adding. So you can see right here, come over here and you look at the number 1 wallet for Cocoro, and you can see that they've been buying 18 hours ago, 19 hours ago, 19 hours ago, 22 hours ago, 46 hours ago, 47 hours ago. In fact, this wallet would have just became the number 1 holder for Cocoro. And for those of you guys who aren't familiar with tracking wallets, the number 1 wallet is Uniswap. But this is the largest individual holder. So yeah, again, I think the token distribution is phenomenal. Now, I do also quickly want to take a look at Ethereum and Bitcoin real quick. So when you look at Ethereum, you can see that Ethereum has at this point lost the bull flag. Now, we will have to see if price action can fight back into this pattern, but as of right now, it's not the best look. We also closed beneath the 50-day moving average. However, what I do want to point out is that if you look at Ethereum on the daily time frame, you can see that the stochastics are extremely oversold. In addition, if you look at Ethereum on the 3-day time frame, you can see that the stochastics are also extremely oversold. And if you look at price action, you can see that it's getting relatively close to retesting the 21-day and the 50-day. These could actually be perfect levels to get a bounce. And if we come down here and we retest these levels with extremely oversold stochastics, there's a decent chance that we'd get a bounce. And if you look at Bitcoin, we're in a somewhat similar situation, except Bitcoin on the 3-day is extremely oversold. However, it already retested the 21-day. This also tells me that Bitcoin could get a bounce. And if you go to Bitcoin on the daily time frame, it's very similar to Ethereum, extremely oversold, except Bitcoin did lose key levels. So right now I would say Bitcoin and Ethereum are pretty indecisive. However, the fact that they're extremely oversold, don't be shocked if we do get a bounce next week. To be clear, I would never really expect the bounce to happen over a weekend just because weekends are usually low volume though. What we don't want to see happen is that the stochastics start to push up, however we just start forming a little bit of a bear flag. If we just see a bunch of small green candles in a row, then that's not going to be a good look. We don't want to form a bear flag beneath resistance. But that's about it for the update today. If you guys are interested in Cocoro and you guys are interested in getting into projects super early, then I always recommend taking a look at my Discord. As you guys know, I first posted Cocoro in my Discord at a $5 million market cap, but we've been making huge gains in here this entire bull run. You can look at the all-time gainer list and you can just see some massive multipliers. So if this is the kind of community that you'd like to be a part of, you can find the link right here on my YouTube homepage, and I'd love to see you guys in here. But that's about all. Let me know down in the comments how do you guys think Cocoro will go this bull run. If you found this content valuable, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.